Hey guys, welcome back to the world of English exams. As you can see, in this video, we are going to learn two very important strategies that would help you to get all the answers right in your Ielts reading test, that is skimming and scanning. Often, there is a lot of confusion among the test takers as to what is skimming and what is scanning, what is the difference in between skimming and scanning, how should I use this technique in the real exam, and so on. So today, in this video, we are going to cover the tips and strategies that could help you in getting the answers right on the Ielts reading test. So without any further delay, let's check out today's video on skimming and scanning. And not only that, guys, if you stay tuned till the end of the video, you will also understand that in addition to skimming and scanning, there is another technique which I am going to highlight and tell you its significance. So do stay tuned and check the video out till the end of it. So without any further delay, let's begin today's video. Okay, so these are the four parts of the Ielts test. Both for academic version as well as for the general version, we have four parts of the Ielts test. The first one is listening, second is reading, third is writing, and the last one is speaking. So as a test taker, you need to work independently and individually on each of these modules to get a perfection so that you can attempt your test with ease and get your desired score. So the skimming and scanning techniques which I am going to tell you are very useful in the reading module, especially for both the modules of the test, that is academic as well as general. So let's understand what is the basic difference between Ielts academic and Ielts general. So what exactly is Ielts academic reading? What is the format of the test? So an academic test taker would be solving or answering questions which are in 3 reading passages, and a total of 40 questions will be given to you, for which 1 mark would be allotted for each right answer. So it makes up to a total of 40 marks, and the time given for the test is 60 minutes or 1 hour. An important point to note at this juncture is that you will not be given any additional time to transfer the answers. So within the time frame of 1 hour, you need to ensure that you are transferring the answers into the Ielts reading answer sheet as well. So similarly, what is the Ielts general reading pattern? So unlike the Ielts academic test where they have to just read 3 texts, the general students have to read 5 passages, 5 texts. Of course, the number of questions remain the same, that is 40, and the time also remains the same, that is 1 hour or 60 minutes. And of course, just like the academic students, even the general students also would be getting 1 mark for each and every correct answer they mark. So this is what the format contains. And now let's proceed to understanding the main parts of today's video, that is what exactly is skimming, how do you skim, and how to get the answers right. And not only that, with the help of a passage, I am going to show you how to skim and how to scan. So do check the video out. Okay, so now what is the meaning of skimming? So skimming is a quick reading strategy or fast reading approach. So you're not reading the article thoroughly word by word, but you're just reading it so as to get a general overview of the content. So you're just reading so that you'll understand what the passage actually contains. So, and you have to ensure that you're avoiding unnecessary concentration and lot of time waste at the initial stage of the test. So avoid reading in detail at the start of the test. So at the start, if you start reading it with a lot of focus and concentration, what's going to happen is you're going to end up losing a lot of time, because especially for the Ielts academic test, the passages are not shorter, they are medium, moderate to longer, lengthier. So a lot of time would be wasted if you have the wrong approach. So when you are skimming, you do not read intensively, you just skim so as to get an idea. You just run your eyes through the passage, that's it. And of course, how do we get the main idea of what is contained in the passages? That is because we take several hints. So I am going to show it to you how to do skimming. Okay, so when you are skimming, read the topic sentence of each paragraph. So the topic sentence is nothing but the first sentence of the paragraph. So once you're thorough with the topic sentence, once you are done with reading the topic sentence, you would be getting an idea of what the passage actually tells us about. The main idea of the passage is contained in the first sentence. So now mostly the students do not realize this, and as a result what they do, they keep reading the passage entirely, and that's how they lose time. So now that you have known what to do, you first read the topic sentence clearly and highlight it, okay? Then read the last sentence. Quickly move on to the last sentence of the paragraph. So you need not be too much bothered about what is there in the middle of the passage. Just if you can quickly read and understand the topic sentence and the conclusive sentence, the last sentence, then it summarizes the content. Then while you do this, make sure that you're making some notes in and around the paragraph. This is the most critical stage of skimming. You need to make short notes on depending on what you understood. For example, if the passage is talking about, let's say, the history of a place, so you're going to quickly write the notes as history. So whenever you see a question related to the history of the place, immediately you know to which passage you need to come and see. So that is what is paying close attention means. So make notes in and around the paragraph while you're skimming. So you need to pay attention to something like titles or subheadings or anything like that which is of intrinsic interest in the paragraph. So there are 3 steps in skimming. First one, reading the first sentence, then reading the last sentence and making short notes. So now having known that, let's practice skimming, shall we? Shall we do it together? Wonderful. So now this is the passage I have opted for that. So as you can clearly see, because I am skimming, I have highlighted the first sentence and the last sentence. Now let's read and try to gauge the meaning of what is contained in this passage. By the year 2050, nearly 80% of the Earth's population will live in urban centers. Okay, so the writer is giving us a prediction. That is, okay, by the year 2050, 80% of the population will live in urban centers. Urban centers is nothing but cities and towns or something like that, suburbs, let's say. So he's talking about the prediction of the Earth's population and how much proportion of the people would be living in cities. Wonderful. Now let's quickly jump to the last sentence. What can be done to ensure enough food for the world's population to live on? Okay, so now he is raising an issue. What is that? So of course 80% of the population would be living in cities. So what can be done about the food sources? So right now that means the paragraph might be stressing something on the current amount of food resources available, and with the growing population the food might not be sufficient to the growing number of people. So and hence he is raising a question as to what can be done as a measure for this, as a solution for this. So wow, this is how we skim, and what all thoughts I have put forth, you just need to write it in and around the paragraph, like something like, prediction of the population, 80%, urban centers, food resources, that's it. So these are the short headings or notes that you make for yourself while you're skimming. So I hope this gave you a good idea of how to practice skimming in the real exam. So now why don't we make an effort to learn scanning like this? Okay, so what exactly is scanning? So just like skimming, scanning also is a quick reading technique, but there is a difference. While we are skimming, we just focused on the first sentence and the last sentence and we read it quite quickly. But here you are reading quickly definitely, but for a purpose. So what is the purpose? You need to locate the answer. So you need to read the question carefully, understand it and come back to the passage, and now that you have already skimmed the text, you will definitely have an idea of the passage. So now you are going to look for specific details and with the help of something called keywords. Key means significant or essential or important. So you are going to have something called keywords like nouns, verbs, adjectives, dates, years, numbers, proper nouns. All of them are clearly visible to you, isn't it? As and when you glance at the passage, you immediately get an idea of these. These are clearly visible to you. So all you have to do is go and highlight the keywords, and so that you just match the content. You're not looking to match the keywords, guys. Remember, people often misunderstand scanning as keyword matching. No, that is wrong. In scanning, you have to not just match the keywords, but you see the relevance of those keywords to the meaning that is conveyed or asked in the question. So that is called scanning. And just like skimming, even in scanning we have 4 different steps. The first step is identify the keywords. So first you need to identify and mark the keywords. Then highlight the keywords by either underlining or circling. Mere reading will not help you in this, guys. You need to highlight so that you will not forget it. You know the context of that. Then relate the meaning as I was telling you, and locate the specific answer. So these are the 4 steps in scanning. What are they? Identification of keywords, highlighting them, relating the meaning, locating the answer. Now, why don't we take up a passage and learn scanning just like we have learned skimming? Are you ready? Wonderful. So we're taking the same passage as we have taken for skimming, but let's see how do we scan. And as I already told you, you need to keep highlighting, and those words that we have highlighted in yellow in this passage signify the keywords like 2050, 80%, earth, urban centers, 3 million people, 80% of the land, then laid waste, 15%, poor management practices, ensure enough food, world's population, and so on. So now these words are mostly nouns or verbs. So you are going to highlight them, and you are going to read for a specific purpose. Now generally when you are preparing for the Ielts reading test, you only have these 2 techniques called skimming and scanning. But as you can see, when you look at the question, you are unable to find the exact answer by just using these 2 techniques, isn't it? So we need a magical technique. Now what is that? That is called intensive reading. Most of the students are unaware that there is something called intensive reading, and as such what they do, they just match the keywords and mark the wrong answer at times. So if you are unsure of how to read, always intensively read. Now this intensive means thorough reading or close reading, I must say. So the other name for intensive reading is close reading. So when you are intensively reading, you read very carefully. Maybe you're taking some time at the start, no problem. When you are practicing the technique for the first time, definitely you would take some time, but with practice you'll master this art of intensive reading. That is, you'll carefully scan, you'll carefully read the message that is conveyed in the text to exactly match the answer. So after skimming and scanning, do not forget to read intensively. But following the opposite approach is the wrong thing. You should never read intensively at the start. In the initial parts of the test, or when you start the test, you should quickly skim and get an idea. Then scan and mark the keywords. Then read closely to find the answer. Okay, so now this screen shows you how to find the answers. So as we just spoke about, we first need to skim the text, then scan for the keywords, then read intensively, and finally locate the right answer. So if you follow this strategic approach, I'm sure all of you are going to get the right answers. So do comment, do leave a comment and let me know how you like this, and if at all this video was useful, do give this a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to share it with all your friends, and do subscribe to our channel World of English Exams if you haven't subscribed already. So for more interesting information and the latest videos pertaining to the Ielts test, please check out our other videos on Ielts writing module as well, and Ielts listening and Ielts speaking as well. So till I see you with the next video, happy preparation guys, and do comment and let me know your views and comments on this video. Thank you.